Hey there, Heather. Ho, there's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another time travel tennis tournament. We're doing the Open Air Boys. That's the Open Air men from 1968 to 1989, and the great Bjorn Borg and John McEnroe's group, like Newcomb and Pat Cash, and even Rod Laver. Oh no, it's one before Rod Laver. Laver was in the pre-Open era, but nevertheless, you have some good tennis players, and the rules were that in the round of 64, the buys would be given to the seasonal guys, like the seeded players would get buys, and the other 32 men would fight in 16 matches to get to face the seeded men, with a trip to the Grand Men Tour in 2026 on the line, no matter what. So we have seen some seeds fall. We've seen six of the um, is it 6 and 6? Yeah, it's 6 and 6. So 6 seeds have won, and 6 seeds have lost their chances. All the seeds have to do is win, and they get to the Grand Man Tour no matter what. And we've seen 6 fall. We've seen Yannick Noah fall to Bertolucci, who was the last guy picked for the wild card for this tournament to qualify. And Bertolucci's now in the Grand Man Tour. We saw the 4 seed Brad Gilbert get beaten back to ESPN by Nikki Pillage. We've seen the 12 seed Boris Becker get beaten by Fitas Gutierrez, although that kind of was a decent matchup. Arthur Ashe falling to Jimmy Arias to Jimmy Jump. That was a shocker. Pat Cash taken down by Dick Stockton, not the broadcaster, but the tennis player. And John McEnroe, especially McEnroe. He won the first set against Alex Metrovelli from the Soviet Union, and then he lost 6-4, 6-4. So Supermax is out, and Metrovelli isn't. So Bertolucci, Pilic, Metrovelli, and Stockton were actually the last 4 guys put in the roster. Spots 45, 46, 47, and 48 were those 4 men, and they're now in the Grand Mentor no matter what. While seats like Ilya Nastasi, Manuel Orantes, John Newcomb, Guillermo Spilas, Jimmy Connors, and Ivan Lendl have all won their games. So anyway, so 12 matches have been done, but we have 4 matches for you. And they're all to do with Sweden because, Stockholm is hosting this thingy, Bobby. So, yeah, so you got Borg, Edberg, Carlson, and Wielander still to face. To face guys. They are saying that Wielander will go first against Craig, and then Carlson Solomon, then the Battle of Sweden between Edberg and Sundstrom, and then Borg Meyer. So here we go. First matchup. Mats Wielander against Johan Craig. Mats Wielander's won a title. He won the World Tennis Tournament in week 7 to get this far. Rotterdam. He beat Ocker, Ritchie, Graber, Newcomb, and then was down to love to Bjorn Borg, but beat him. He got to the semifinals of Wimbledon. The next tournament he beat Franovic, Berger, Vilas, Bigman, and Fred Stoll before Connors beat him. And he will face Johan Craig, who won the Bristol tournament, pair of quarterfinals. So he won the Bristol tournament by beating Lloyd, Panata, Kodesh, Pillage, Messier, and Scanlon to move on. And then in Wimbledon, he beat Orantes, Cash, and Newcomb. The matches, Cash took him to 5 sets, and Newcomb took him to 5 sets. Actually, Craig was down 2-0 to Newcomb and pulled off the upset. Then he faced Nastasi. Was that 2-1 on Nastasi, but failed. Craig had to go through the qualifier and beat Jose Igueras just to get this far. 15-minute time limit.
Quiet, please. Creek to serve. First game. Play.
Here we go.
15 love. 15 all. Out. 30-15. 40-15.
Out.
40-30.
Out.
Deuce. Advantage, creek. Deuce. Advantage, Philander. Game, Philander. First game.
Out.
Love, 15.
Out. Out.
Love, 30.
Out.
15-30.
Okay.
15-40. Thirty 40. Deuce.
Out.
Advantage, Philander. Game, Philander. Philander leads 2 games to love. First set.
I think we want to see another game.
Out.
15 love. 30 love.
Out. Out.
40 love. 40-15.
Out.
40-30. Deuce.
Out.
Advantage, Philander.
Out.
Deuce. Advantage, creek. Game, creek. Philander leads 2 games to 1. First set.
So Wielander up 2-1 to Crake. Now the question is, did he do it? Oh yeah, 6-2-6 bagel. Crake had no chance, none whatsoever. In Sweden, St. Digaloo, so Creek had no chance. Wielander will face Metro Valley in a match. Actually, as I said in previous videos, this is critical because if you win this tournament with the 6 men sets and the 6 men seasons, you're going to be guaranteed for the first Grandman Tour in 2026. You'll be seeded 1 to 6, no matter what. I just take basically my perspective of 1 to 6. If you take second, you'll go from 7 to 12 guaranteed. If you take third, well, I'll find out who third place is. Be 13 to 18. So you might get seeded, you might not. So Wielander does his job. Now let's see what Carlson does. Okay, Carlson will face Harold Solomon, who's won a tournament. Solomon won the Atlanta Championships Week 14, beating John Newcomb, big first round win, and then he beat Lacan, Stoll, Metavelli, and Arias, Jimmy Jump. To move on, Solomon had to beat Panata to move on to the second round, which is no big feat. Carlson, a pair of wins. He won the French Open. He won the week 13 thing, but then he won week 13 in New York. 64 men. He beat Bertolucci, Berger, Noah, Orantes, Clerk, and Jimmy Jump to move on. And then he shocked everyone by winning the French Open on clay. He beat Vitas, Arias, Shimano, Lando, Clerk, and Padata to get this far. Like, Lando gave him a challenge. He was down 2-1 to him, and he was down 2-1 to Panada, but pulled off a couple of big sets. So Carlsen better hope he does well.
Quiet please. Carlsen to serve. First game.
See what
Play.
he does.
15 love. 15 all.
Out.
15-30. 15-40. Game, Solomon. First game. Love 15.
Out.
15 all. 30-15. 30 all.
Out. Out.
30-40. 'Game, Carlsen. 1 game all. First set. $15 love. 30 love.
Out.
40 love.
Out.
40-15. 'Game, Carlsen. Carlsen leads 2 games to 1. First set.
One Carlsen.
Out.
Love 15. 15 all. 30-15.
Out.
30 all. 30-40. Deuce.
Out.
Advantage, Carlsen.
Out. Out.
Game, Carlsen. Carlsen leads 3 games to 1. First set.
And Carlsen looks good, 3-1. And he does 6-3-7-5. Dougley, Digaloo, that energy, move the scoop. Ultimate side. Oh, Solomon loses in straight sets, so Carlsen makes Sweden 2 for 2. So Carlsen does his job to get into the Grand Man Tour. Solomon does not. Well, we will have a Swedish matchup. Carlsen will face Edberg or Sundström. Edberg won a tournament. Looks like He looks like Lex Luger. Anyway, he won the Players' Championship in week 3, so yeah. Well, he made the finals in week 1, losing to Connors, then lost to Becker, but then in Delray, he beat Teacher, Steech, Sanchez, Orantes, Bjorn, big win, and then Stan Smith to move on. And then went to the finals in the Australian Open. He beat Vitas, Kodesh, Edmondson, the long shot, beat McInford, Lendl in 3, and then Borg played him hard. He was up 2-0 on his fellow Swede Borg. It was like Edberg's like too easy, too easy. Not too easy. He loses to Borg, and that's not good for anyone's card. He'll face Henrik Sundstrom, who won in Sicily, week 32, beating Motram, McNamara, Stoll, Mancini, and then Prosy. Yeah, Fred Stoll. And Motram. Well, you had to beat Peter McNamara to get this far. Okay, here we go.
Out.
Love 15. 15 all. 15-30. 30 all. 40-30. Game, Edberg. First game. Love 15. 15 all. 30-15.
Out.
30 all. 40-30. Game, Sundstrom. 1 game all, first set. Love. 15 all.
Out.
30-15. 40-15. Game, Edberg. Edberg leads 2 games to 1, first set.
Out.
Love 15. 15 all. 30-15.
Out. Out.
30 all. 30-40.
Out.
Game, Edberg. Edberg leads 3 games to 1, first set.
Edberg looking like he'll take on his fellow Swede. That remains to be seen. And he does 6-3-7-5. So Edberg takes down Sundstrom. So Edberg will move on and will face Carlson. 3 Swedes are in the Grand Man Tour. Will there be a fourth? By contract, there's 5 Americans, if you must know. Well, there could be 6 if Meyer wins. Gene Meyer will have to face off against Bjorn Borg. And the good news is, despite the fact that Borg lost 9 times in only 9 times, 2 times were to Meyer. It's head to head. Yeah, this is the 7th guy he's faced with for the 3rd time. Felix and Wielander, he's actually faced 3 times, losing at least once. He won 2 of the 4 Grand Slams, winning major tournaments, even though he wasn't supposed to win tournaments. He actually got to a lot of finals. And then Milan, he beat Novacek, Kodesh, Cash, Panata, and Vitas to move on. And then at the French Open, he got to the quarters, but Panata stopped him before after beating Mitrofelli, Chris Lewis, and McEnroe. And then at Wimbledon, he beat Solomon, Ash, Dibbs, Lando, Nassasi, and Connors, only dropping 2 sets, 1 to Ash, 1 to Connors. Then at the U.S. Open, he beat Franovic, Pilic, Becker. Well, Becker held him to 5 sets, and Nastasi before Vilas beat him in 4. And then in Australia, he beat Lutz, Jared, Carlson, Krieg, Connors, and Edberg. He only dropped 2 sets, 1 to Jared, 1 to Carlson. And then he lost first 2 to Edberg. It's funny how the 3 Swedes he's faced, his fellow countrymen, are, and they will lose a set. Gene Meyer, he won the Swiss indoors in week 38 to move on. 2 out of 16 matchups there. So it'd be Triak, Gravener, Gullikson, Noah, and Arias to move on. And then he beat Roscoe Tanner to get here, which is not an easy fact.
Quiet, please. Borg to serve. First game. Play.
Out.
Love 15. 15 all. 30-15.
Out.
30 all. 40-30. Game Borg. First game.
We're going first.
15 love. 15 all. 30-15.
Out.
40-15. 40-30. Game Mayer. 1 game all. First set. Love 15. Love 30. 15-30. 30 all. 40-30. Deuce.
Out.
Advantage, Mayor. Deuce. Advantage, Borg. Game, Borg. Borg leads 2-1, first set.
The Borg up 2-1 after 15 minutes. Did he win the match? Oh yeah, 6-3, 6-2. So Bjorn Borg does his job and Meyer doesn't do his. So Sweden goes 4 for 4 in the Friday matches. Great. And that means we have 10 of the 16 seeds did their job. Only 10. That's shocking. John McEnroe losing, that's humongous. Arthur Ashe and Arthur Ashe. And Boris Becker. No McEnroe, no Ashe, no Becker. Whereas people like Arentis, Carlson, and Wielander are safe. So Borg beat Meyer, Bertolucci upsets Noah, Edberg beats Sundstrom, Carlson beats Sullivan. Pilic upsets Gilbert, Nastasi beats Mancini, Vites beats Becker, Arentis beats Dibbs, Metrofelli shocks McEnroe, Wielander beats Craig, Lendo beats Fredovich, Connors beats Ritchie, Vilas beats Berger, Stockton beats Cash, upsets Cash, Newcomb beats Sanchez, and Arias upsets Ash. So we will have to go to the round of 16 because there's a lot to talk about. Nikki Bertolucci will fall to Bjorn Borg. Nikki Pilic loses to Nastasi. Vitas lost to Arentis. Metrofelli upsets Wielander in 3 sets. So he loses the first set, but Metrofelli wins the next 2. So he's in the quarters. Yeah, there's 6 wild cards. Felix beats up on Stockton, and Jimmy Jump Arias beats Newcomb. So Jimmy Arias is moving on to the quarterfinals. Connors beats Lando to defeat Metrofelli, and Carlson beats Edberg to meet Borg. So it's an all Swedish quarterfinal. Jimmy Jump loses to Guerrero Vilas, and Connors beats Metrofelli. So it's Vilas versus Connors for one final spot and a guaranteed top 12 seed. And the loser might be okay. Who knows? So unlike the 2020 men, in which Kevin Anderson came from nowhere, an unseeded player, to make it to the final, we won't see any major surprises. Third quarterfinal sees Nastasi beat Arentis, so Illy will move on. But which Swede will he face? Turns out it will be Borg, who beats Carlson in 3 sets. So Borg will face Nastasi, Felix versus Connors. So these guys are very vicious. So whoever loses Felix Connors will get the 3rd place vote and will go from 13 to 18. And then whoever loses Borg, Nastasi, will have to end up watching for the sidelines. Even if it is Borg who loses. Well, we'll see. First semi-final sees Felix beat Connors, so Guillermo Felix will move on. Well, if Borg beats Nastasi, that means Connors will take 3rd place and a 13 to 18 will be coming his way. If Nastasi wins, then Borg will get the 13 to 18. And it will be Borg who beats Nastasi. He beats Ilme Felix, and Connors will get the 13 to 18 seed. So Jimmy Connors doing his job. So the final is Bjorn versus Guillermo Felix. 2 very great players. Someone's going to be a 1 to 6, and someone is going to be a 7 to 12. So we'll see what happens. A, B, C, go. And it is going to be the Swede, Bjorn Borg. He shows his number 1 seeding He's meant to be number 1. He beats Vilas. So Bjorn Borg will be a 1 to 6. He should be probably the 1 seed. Who knows? And Vilas will be a 7 to 12 come the Open Grandman Tour, and Connor's 13 18. So Bjorn knows his job, and that means that we're just gonna play for fun. We're just gonna play for fun. Skis the Adelaide Open, which saw Borg beat Wielander. So Bjorn Borg's an icon. So we're gonna go to the ladies A. Yeah, sorry about that. The thing is the clouds a little bit. Okay, so yeah, we'll show you what next week will be like. We're going back to the ladies, and we will be in Amsterdam on grass for this thing. You see the 16 ladies who will automatically qualify for the round of 32. Margaret Smith Court, Leslie Turner Valerie, Margaret Smith Osborne Dupont, Helen Willis Moody, Billie Jean King, Kay Bowman, Marina Bueno, Suzanne Langland, Alice Marble, Mala Mallory, Darlene Hard, Dorothea Chambers, Avita Gibson, Helen Jacobs, Darlene Round, and Mo Connolly. It's weird how the first 4 ladies all have hyphenated names. So yeah, these ladies all have buys and all that. There will be wildcard matchups there. Yeah, Amsterdam. They randomly picked Amsterdam for Bowman and all that, but it could have easily been Australia. But because Australia was used by the men, they couldn't go Australia for the ladies. A lot of Australian flags in this thing. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on the left, and 2 on the right. Yeah, only 2. So 9 on the left and 2 on the right. So it's basically almost all Australian on the left, and on the right side, Rattano and Lahang are like, we want to be Australian too, but you're on the right side of the bracket, and none of them are seated. So, so no, bit of a not tongue list, but basically a sticking out of the tongue. So that's what you'll see next week. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.